questions, and certainly I've got some topics I'm going to go through. If you've got questions, feel free to raise your hand, and we can kind of get to those and keep things, on topics that are of interest to you. What I want to start with is the application itself, and I think you have that in a handout. As you open that package, the front page of it is the actual application. If you open it to the first inside page, you'll see a list of requirements for the license. And they're pretty straightforward. 21 years of age, you're a U.S. citizen or otherwise legally in the United States, you're not a felon, you're not, crazy, schizophrenic, that sort of thing. But there are two paragraphs that sometimes catch people up. And those are paragraphs 12 and 13. What you'll find there are lists of misdemeanor crimes, which if you've been convicted of, could prevent you from getting a license. In the case of paragraph 12, it'll be for 8 years. Paragraph 13 is 3 years. It's a long list. I'm not going to go through all of them. But they basically break down into 3 major categories. The first category is intoxicant type of crimes. And you'll see things there along the lines of drunk driving, second offense, driving a snowmobile under the influence, boats, whatever, driving any type of vehicle under the influence. I think the idea behind that is that if someone has a problem with intoxicants, maybe that person shouldn't be carrying a gun 24 hours a day, right? The second major group you'll find are assaultive crimes. And you'll see things in there such as domestic assault, aggravated assault, and other crimes along that line. My thought is that if someone doesn't have an ability to control their temper, has a problem with assaultive behavior, again, maybe that person shouldn't be carrying a gun all day long. And the third major group you'll find are weapons and explosives types of crimes, and it's pretty self-explanatory. If someone's already got a history of not following weapons laws, again, with the intricacy of laws surrounding carrying a concealed pistol, maybe they shouldn't be carrying a gun all day long. Paragraph 13 is going to have very similar crimes, lesser offenses of the same crimes. These will keep you from getting the license for 3 years as opposed to 8. So they break down into the same 3 major categories, plus there's some theft crimes. In addition to those in 12 and 13, there's what I call a catch-all clause in the statute, which will allow a gun board to deny a license based on anything in your background if they feel that issuing that license to you could be detrimental either to yourself or to some third person. One example that comes to mind is a gentleman who had a domestic violence charge in another state that was 10 years old, so it was off the 8-year list. And then he had a domestic violence charge in Michigan, which was 2 years old, but it was resolved in a way where he didn't technically have a conviction on his record. So he had this one that was very old, he had one that was new, but it wasn't technically a conviction, so it wouldn't fall under 12 or 13. Nevertheless, the gun board wanted to talk to him before they issued the license.